Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Joining me today is Sumit as we talk about some fast-moving developments in Jammu and Kashmir by the Modi government as well as across the border in Pakistan. Now let's welcome Sumit but before that, a small request to all of you to like this video. Sumit Namaskar, Ram Ram, Radhe Radhe, how are you?
Jai Sri Ram, Radhe Radhe, sir. All good and fine by the grace of Lord Mahakal and your Ashirwad. And Namaskaram to all the viewers.
Thank you, sir. And Sumit there's something new that is happening today. The Modi government has made some big steps in the Jammu and Kashmir, in terms of what the powers of the Lieutenant General are. I looked at it and there were quite a few interesting things that have come up. Essentially, the way I see it is they are normalizing how things work in Jammu and Kashmir, bringing it on par with what's happening in all other states. Because remember, Jammu and Kashmir always thought they were separate. So that's how I look at it. I could be wrong, of course, and the devil is in the details. Please, I'm sorry I said Lieutenant General. It is Lieutenant Governor. I'm so used to that. Lieutenant Governor. So again, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Meeting so many Lieutenant Generals every week, so it's but natural Lieutenant General.
Yes. So essentially, the state is being brought on parity with the other states, and it might be something new that people may think. In terms of day-to-day life, I don't think there are any changes. This is just administrative facilitation, is how I look at it. I could be wrong. Please enlighten us. What is going on?
Sir, in the name of Bhagwan Sree Ganesha, let's do the Sree Ganesha of today's vlog. Well, the thing is, we have to see these changes in a bigger perspective. There are three dimensions of the change. One is geopolitical, one is political, and one is from a security point of view. When we have to go through all the three parameters to see this change. Now, what is the political message? The political message is very simple because, look, politically, we have seen a big upset in J&K. We have people like Rashid Engineer who have got elected with 1.5 lakh of votes, and we have political stalwarts like Umar Abdullah, third generation Abdullah, being defeated by a separatist, a terrorist, if I can call him. So that really has upset a lot of paradigms, a lot of thinking processes in New Delhi, and also when you look at Amritpal and when you look at Beant Singh's son, there are some of the examples which have put a lot of thought process into 𝗤𝙤. What the hell is happening? So that is the point number one. Even the local politicians at the valley, let it be Umar Abdullah and his father Farooq Abdullah and all, they are also completely splitting their hands. Mehbooba Mufti lost. PDP is wiped out. So a new kind of system is coming up into the place. And you know, one of the MPs who got selected from National Congress, I was looking that he was talking to some fake wire and whatever, some wire current channel something. In that wire current channel, he was saying Palestine Zindabad is okay by OAC. You know, these kind of justifications have started coming from the ground, which is not a very welcome development. So there is a political round robin which is happening in the state, and a lot of surprise it's throwing. Like what we say, when there was a Samudra Manthan, we have Vish and we have Amrit. So that kind of a Manthan is happening. So a lot of positive changes happen. Look, the incidents of terrorism are down. The terrorist things are come down, investment has come, and tourists have at the all-time high, business is increasing, GDP is increasing, GST collection is increasing. These are the positive things of it. But what is the negative things? Now the virgin territories, Jammu, Kathua, Bhadra, Riyasi, Sambha, and all these areas are near the international border. They are started heating up. Second thing is that we have international terrorists coming up. Third thing is now we are seeing M4 carbines with every terrorist, M4, and they are not Chinese, they are American. Because they are not made in Pakistan, because made in Pakistan cannot hold more than 3-4 bullets. Now we are seeing Chinese ultra sets. They are with every terrorist organization. We are seeing sophisticated comms. We are seeing them linked up to this, Starlinks. You know, we are seeing satellite phones. We are seeing encrypted satellite phones, and Chinese ultra sets have a hardcore encryption key inside them. So when we look at all these developments, it looks like that China and Pakistan have got together and things might be changing in the valley at a very rapid pace because the international waters, what they are trying to activate. We know that part of it. Now, what has happened more politically? More politically is that we are seeing re-emergence of terrorism in pockets of South Kashmir. Recruitment has been seen going up a bit. This is what the military intelligence has supposedly reported. We are seeing recruitment happening in POJK, though it was down substantially, but for some time it has stopped. It has been again going on. We have been reporting that there was a large-scale attempt around Samba sector to infiltrate a lot of terrorists. Now, thanks to Indian Army, that is sorted out. But there are a lot of terrorists who are ready to infiltrate. Again, the modus operandi will be in the batches of 333 each. Now, with this new fiasco of Rashid Engineer and Amritpal and people like him getting elected, it has opened the eyes of a lot of people in the echelons of power because something more needs to be done than development, tourism and all. We have to start controlling the things because J&K is a sensitive state. J&K is where it can brew trouble into whole of India. Delhi kitna dur hai? How much is Delhi from Kashmir? Practically today you can do it in 12, 14, 15 hours. You get into a car, within 14 hours you will be in cannot place. So there are visible threats which are available. And if you look at our recent meetings between Punjab and the J&K, higher ranking officers and intelligence officials and all, we are fearing something might happen in Punjab as well. Now, Punjab, J&K and these states are typical states which have a border with Pakistan, right? Another dimension to here is what is happening inside Pakistan. Political side of it. ISI given blanket approval to tap anybody's phone. Blanket approval. No questions asked. They had the approval, now it's legal. Nobody can question ISI. They can hack even the Prime Minister's phone if they want. Well, he's in jail, by the way. Current wala, purana wala, doesn't matter. So that is what Pakistan is. Now, Asim Munir meeting the Chief Justice of Pakistan, calling him to GHQ for what? Now, this 𝗤𝙗𝘲 operation which is being done for photo ops, and they are taking money for that for Chinese and taking American weapons. Another important development in Pakistan is, Sachin bhai, if you can show this letter. The letter which came just back, which shows that the Sessions Court of Pakistan has on the pursuance of ISI, Imran Khan is to be arrested again in some that incident which happened in the May of last year when his supporters ramped through everything and they tried to destroy everything. Now he's arrested again. He got some relief from the court. Now under the pressure of ISI, the court has again kind of ordered his arrest. So what is Munir trying to do? He's trying to get Chief Justice on his side. Now after getting Chief Justice on his side, you have again Imran Khan arrested in some other case. Just like Kejriwal, who is arrested after one case and got bail and gets arrested after another case. Now you can tap the phones, right? And my sources are telling me that there is a $8 billion package which IMF has almost decided, Sree sir, to give to Pakistan. Now $8 billion entering Pakistan is not good news for India because trust me, around a few million are going to be used against India. And they are taking they're increasing the pressure on the international water. So this is the politics of it. So this is how it is happening. Another important thing I want to report. My sources also tell me around Wakhan corridor, there are a lot of ISIS people and ISIS camps and tents which have come up. So something is happening around Wakhan corridor as well. So Pakistani-Chinese joint ventures in Kashmir, in areas of Jammu, activity in Wakhan corridor, Asim Munir trying to consolidate power, Imran Khan getting arrested again, ISI getting blanket power, right? Americans supplying the weapons because that is what Pakistanis asked for, and Chinese giving them the money. And the sugar topping is now $8 billion possibly coming from IMF as well. Add up everything. Add up all the things what I told you. What does that tell you? The disaster is in brewing. And what has the Modi government done? Now, this is what is the background of the things, right? Background mein kya ho raha hai? Now, what has Modi government done? Today, Mr. Amit Shah, after this, he has used the powers which he got after the 35 and 370. What he has done is, he has given extra powers to the Lieutenant Governor, by the virtue of which all the IAS officers, all the IPS officers, and even the judicial magistrates and the chief and the judges of the erstwhile state of the present Union Territory of J&K will be appointed with the approval of Lieutenant Governor. Basically, it is not shifting of power. It is that now, let's say if tomorrow we have elections there, which we are committed to do, right? So after the elections, we might have a surprise like Rashid Engineer. Imagine a person like Rashid Engineer deciding who is the chief secretary of J&K. Sir, socho. Imagine Rashid Engineer deciding who is the IPS officer. And these people of J&K of Kashmir had given us a new surprise. It's a mind-boggling surprise. So to counter that, nothing can be done without the approval of the governor then. So today it's Lieutenant Governor, he will become the governor then, right? Today as a Lieutenant Governor, he has more powers, and as a governor, he will have the powers. Now when this is done, in fact, this is a mechanism which I request should be done in all the border states. Wherever you have a border, all these border states should work on the same mechanism. Because you cannot let state governments decide everything, because otherwise it becomes a national security problem. So by the virtue of this, what has happened, Umar Abdullah and the party have started crying. We will be made the peon of the governor. If you were to recruit a peon, we have to take governor's approval and all. But these people are forgetting one thing. They say, what is then the power of elected representative? Let me remind you, Umar Abdullah, you and your family have been in power for the last 70 years. And Kashmiri Pandit and Kashmiri Hindu genocide happened. Exodus happened. So many thousands of people got killed in J&K. So what has your power and what has your elected representatives done? And for the first time, when you saw an election which was more than 8%, because you're used to winning at 8%, you saw a 57% election. What is the option we have got? Rashid Engineer. So don't talk of election and democracy and elected representatives. We know what they have all done in J&K. And so as far as 35 and 370 was in, you've done all the loot and plunder. That is what you've done. So let's not beat around the bush. And this is a government of consensus. In a lot of places, sir, this consensus is taken. This is not something unique. But these people have this, kid glove syndrome, blue-eyed syndrome, don't touch us. We've been warning from the Yana Meer's video. Then there was a tweet by her which talked about a lot of things which we retweeted. Now everybody thinks up in the open. Again, we have nothing against the person, we're just giving a context. The context is that this spatial attitude, we are above average, we are above ordinary, we are special, kid gloves, this has to go. And this, as long as this doesn't go, this is a problem. Now, when in India, we decided that BSF will have jurisdiction up to 50 kilometers from the border, there are people who are with that. Why, kyun? What do you mean by kyun, yaar? It is not your fiefdom. Do you think any state is any chief minister's fiefdom? No. If terrorists infiltrate, sir, from Punjab, how much is Delhi? 6 hours. From J&K, how much is it? 13 hours. So people like me and innocent lives and all, they're going to pay a brunt of it. So how can Amit Shah and Modi government let the national security apparatus be subservient to whims and fancies of somebody like a Rashid Engineer who might get elected some point of time? So it is a check and control mechanism. It is not something what is being seen as an alarm. Yes, Lieutenant Governor, and then the governor will get powers, and these powers are mandatory and should be given in India. And I strongly appeal for every state, every bordering state, you should have this mechanism so that nobody can play foul, nobody can have this own set of things going on, right? I'm agree, right? I'm saying that every border state of India, because we have vulnerabilities around chicken neck. Also, I'm telling you, there is a problem which is brewing in West Bengal. Let's face it. We may not admit it, but there's a problem which is brewing in West Bengal, and let's not be in a perpetual state of tomfoolery where we think nothing is happening in Bangladesh. There are a lot of anti-India forces and fractions which are working against Bangladesh. I'm not blaming the Bangladeshi government, so don't get me wrong. I'm telling you, but with no other government, China has infiltrated Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina's cabinet. Pakistan has infiltrated there, Jamaatis have infiltrated there, and then Sheikh Hasina might not know everything, and anyway she's touching 80, she's above 80. So with age, you also have the age catches up, right? And the problem we have in Bangladesh, there's a vacuum. What if tomorrow Sheikh Hasina, something happens to her, age, anything, who is next? That vacuum is a disaster in brewing, which we have to do something to fill that up. If we don't fill that vacuum, there's another problem there. So there are things which are heating up everywhere around India. Now this ISIS and Wakhan corridor is an important thing. Now what are the possible scenarios? Now let's examine what are the possible scenarios that are happening. Look, if you have to plan action, first thing, you should be able to do what Mr. Amit Shah has rightly done. He has done the right thing. He should have the power vested with the Lieutenant Governor. That is basically the central government for IAS, IPS and wherever. And these powers should continue to perpetuity. Because if you are planning some major actions, right now, these powers have to be with the Lieutenant Governor. So that's point number one. Point number two, if you are planning something vis-a-vis Pakistan, well, these powers are all the more required, and they are required for next 10 years or 15 or 20 years so that, it doesn't again become a breeding ground for terror. Point number 3. Have we found something big? These powers are also given when you have found something big. Last time you found lithium, and within 8 months, that whole belt is terrorist infested today. It's full of jihadis. We're only having casualties there, unfortunately. So if we have found something, I don't know what, which has, sir, we have found something possibly. So it is better to have these things under control. Now you will ask me a question, bhai, what is the relation between finding something and exchange of IAS officer? What is it related to IPS officer, Sumit ji? Kya relation hai? I'll explain you, sir. Because I know our people will have these questions, and I request you, please put in your comments to the video so that we could get your point of view also, and keep on sending some interesting comments. If there's an interesting comment, Sachin bhai is very fast, he will display it anyway. Now, what is the relation? Look, we had Yasin Malik on TV accepting I slaughtered men in uniform Air Force people. Bitta karate. So many of them, they are open, say, हाँ हमने मारा, we have killed 30, 40 Kashmiri Pandits. I don't know. Somebody says I have killed 20, 30. They were counting like like the police officers count how many criminals or how many terrorists they have killed. So, but the system was such. They never got persecuted. You know why? Because the system works for them. The system is compromised. When you are able to recruit those IAS, IPS and these officers and these judges, they will exactly do what you want them to do. That is why these people were running scot-free, right? Now, when you have the right set of people who are not your own stooges, I would say, you'll have those honest people who will do the job. There won't be another Bitta Karate, there won't be another Yasin Malik, and there won't be that fiasco that happened. Look, there was intelligence at the Kashmiri Pandit exodus, genocide, but nobody decided to act. So how do we prevent such things to happen? Look, before 35 and 370 abrogation, the things were pretty bad there, right? Now, after 35 and 370, a lot of things have improved on the ground. But are we back to normalcy? No. Will Pakistan let us go back to normalcy? No. So there is a possibility Pakistan is planning something on the behest of China. And there's a possibility we're also planning something. There's also a possibility that there's some new things which we might have found. And we don't want this fiasco to increase. We don't want this that area or that belt to again get terrorist infiltrated. So it is right time we have all the precautions and we have all the precautionary measures in place. And third thing can be that we have something brewing up in Ladakh. Because if something brews up in Ladakh, you will see only the pressure points will start coming down in Kashmir, right? You will see the pressure points will ultimately come out in Kashmir. Why is Pakistan suddenly increasing the ante? Now, we had the president of Azerbaijan there yesterday. He said, I'm with Pakistan for Kashmir. I've been telling you Pakistan is trying to get Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Afghanistan and others on their side. And now this settlement which is built in Afghanistan for TTP and Al-Qaeda people for their families is again a reason for trouble. Now, how many machine guns and force could have been smuggled from Afghanistan to Pakistan into terrorists in J&K? Why should Pakistan give them so many weapons? Sorry, why should Afghanistan give them so many weapons? Where are the weapons coming from? We don't know. And Pakistan getting this kind of a money is not good news for us. So when you do a sum total of all the things, what it is done by Mr. Amit Shah is a beginning of a setting the ground clear. Remember, when 35 and 370 was abrogated, what happened? Mehbooba Mufti's government was dismissed. Just a few days before they were put in house arrest. Then a lot of army was mobilized into the valley. When the army got mobilized into the valley, essential supplies and all were done. And in that time, there was also camouflage created. If you want to really see the camouflage, you must see the movie 370. You will see how beautifully a camouflage was created. And all the politicians of the valley and so-called politicians were busy in that camouflage which was created. But eventually, they were planning something entirely different. So the point I'm trying to make, this can be even for a camouflage for something different might be sneaked in at the right point of time. I don't know what and how. Don't ask me. I have no idea. And I should not have any idea as an ordinary citizen. So, but I'm feeling that something is being done. Now, what do people of the nation want? People of the nation want action. For doing the action, you have to set the ground in right. So is the ground set in right? So is a possibility something around POK? Is a Pakistani vis-a-vis Kathua? And I believe our military brass is on record saying that whatever happened in Kathua will be avenged. So how are we going to avenge it? Just I'm thinking. Last time we walked in. First time we walked in. Second time we flied in. Third time we might sail in, sir. Sail. So third time we might sail in. Who knows what? So things are happening. Chinese want the attention to move to Himalayas. We want the attention to move to South China Sea. And South China Sea is also heating up. South China Sea is also heating up. And Chinese will do everything to move the attention from South China Sea and bring the world attention to something here in Himalayas. And remember, in Himalayas, you have, when July, August, September, October, you have hardly 4 months left. After 4 months, nothing can happen. So what are they doing? And now, yesterday we've seen the American reactions, which are a bit absurd. So this all could be said in a closed door meeting. And suddenly, we have also seen some very, very tricky things. I believe Kamala Harris spoke to Rahul Gandhi out of blue to do what? I don't know. I mean, I am just joining the dots, correlating all the things. Why does she need to speak to Rahul Gandhi out of blue? What are they going to talk? What they have in common? And then yesterday, what Amit Shah declared as this Samvidhan Hatya, there was, that I don't know. That's fake news. Okay, I don't know. I heard about that, so I don't know. So there are a lot of things which are happening which we don't understand. Why is this all happening? Well, what is the logic? And why does the American ambassador and the 𝙥𝙬𝙤𝘀𝘀 need to make these public statements? They could be conveyed to Dr. Jaishankar in a closed door meeting also. I mean, why did they choose to go public about it? I still don't know. And there should be a logic around it. So, and isn't that exactly what Chinese want you to do? They exactly wanted you to go public because they were irked. How did India meet Russia and Americans are silent about it? And why are Americans walking the Chinese trap and playing the Chinese game? I don't know. This is something which seasoned diplomats like Mr. 𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏 and Mr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 should answer. So, this could be conveyed in a very subtle way also. There was no need to go public on it. So, and why suddenly I was told Pakistan ke bhai, they cannot get more than $1 billion loan, $1.1 billion. They don't have receivables. There's no balance sheet. So where does this news of 7 billion come from? Why is IMF so kind-hearted to give 7 billion to Pakistan? It rings a bell, and 7 billion in Pakistan is a lot of money for them, for a dying country. And we intercepted a ship yesterday which was going from China to Pakistan with hazardous chemicals. So there's a collaboration happening between China and Pakistan at various levels. And we know now China is also trying to use Pakistani networks to get fentanyl into India. And if we go by some reports, the amount of fentanyl which Chinese have got into America is to destroy around 5 to 7 states. They can be wiped out. Everybody can be dealt. That amount of fentanyl is already reached to the United States of America. And Joe Biden is calling Zelensky Putin. Putin. So with all those things, and that infamous video of the NATO chief, I don't want to repeat that. So what is happening in the world? We have to protect our interest. We have to protect our borders. And if we have to protect our borders, we have to first consolidate the house with it. Because geopolitics of the place is very, very changing fast. And Chinese ambassador seems to have developed some very good friends in India. He's in some very high profile social gatherings in India. So, which is also something which needs to be seen through. I have seen people unki aarthi utarte hue. So these things, kind of get your attention. I mean, what's happening here? And yesterday, a few years back, we had seen that when the Doklam was happening, Mr. Rahul Gandhi having, lunch and dinner with the Chinese ambassador, trying to discuss Doklam. He was not ready to discuss Doklam with the Prime Minister, but he was having these secret meetings at the Chinese embassy. So things are getting tough. And now, if I go to Sri Lanka, I'll show something very interesting with you. Sri Lankan finance minister is saying we should send a delegation to Pakistan to understand how to come out of economic crisis. You believe me? Sri Lankan finance minister is a Muslim guy. I'll tell you the name. I forgot his name. Name to yahan hai. I'll tell you the name. His name is, I think, Ali Sabar. Yeah, his name is Ali Sabri. Ali Sabri is saying that let's send a delegation from Sri Lanka to Pakistan to understand how to get out of financial crisis. Let me take you to Nepal. Prachanda's government is gone. Prachanda is out of gear. Prachanda is a pro-Chinese guy. We know he is a part of China. Now, who is the new person? Is KP Sharma Oli coming in, or is something again coming with an applicant Congress? We don't know. Maldives, Muzu. It's here, is there, is here, is there. So if you look around us in Myanmar, We don't have a lot of information because except satellite phones and all, there's not a lot of communication which comes and goes out of Myanmar. So if you look at this, things around us, things are tricky. And in this tricky environment, to protect the national interest and to have our interests protected, which can be even offensive defense, whatever the Honorable Prime Minister and his cabinet thinks is right, if that is done, why it is irking the valley-based politicians, I don't know. Why is Omar Abdullah getting worked out? I don't know. Omar Abdullah, you lost to Rashid Engineer Bhai. You will never be MP for 5 years. So why are you so worried? You know, if tomorrow Rashid Engineer decides to contest against you as an MLA, also you will again lose. So if you should be bothered about how a Rashid Engineer is able to defeat you. As a third generation dynast, you are getting defeated. And you are bothered about that when the chief minister will come, he will have no powers. Anyway, who knows when the elections are going to held. And as per me, as long as the situation of the security situation in the valley is not right, we should have no elections. Why should be the government of India in a rush to have elections? Elections will depend on the situation on the valley. And if Pakistan is bringing things to the international border, we should also have the capability to respond in the same point. And we know where is the Pakistan's Achilles heel. The Achilles heel is Karachi. So who knows? Maybe what is being planned. And we have mobilized a lot of naval assets. There are a lot of new naval assets which India has got. So something very interesting is happening around the Navy as well. And Pakistan is something very interesting is happening in the Pakistan as well. And then proximity of this China, Bangladesh happening, you know, those MOUs which are happening, missile generation hub, all those things which are happening, they don't leave a very very pleasant taste in our mouth. There's a lot of suspicion in the air, and there are a lot of people who are suspicious. And these suspicions are not good in geopolitics because there are no permanent friends and there are no permanent enemies. So what Modi government can do and should do and has done is this thing, and I advocate that it should be done in all the border states. And BSF's jurisdiction was already extended. We know for sure there are more weapons deployed around the Chinese border. We for sure know that something around Uttaranchal is getting active and around the Chinese border. So, and we for sure knows that the Americans are posturing and throwing things in the public domain and advising us that where you should be friends with. And Congress has become suddenly aggressive. So things are in a bit of a haze, I would say. Not dangerous. I would say in a bit of a haze. But we have also our cards done. Before taking any action, these are the prerequisites which should be settled on the ground, which should be maintained on the ground. I see pretty much similarity in what is happening right now and what happened a few months or a few weeks before abrogation of 370 and 35A. So this is my kind of take on what is happening and what is brewing on the ground. And what are the possible scenarios, what we can be doing, what Pakistan is doing, what is internationally happening, what is happening in the neighborhood, what are the geopolitical developments, and what could be the possible outcomes. And again, I'm repeating myself, I recommend this thing to be done in all the border states. Every border state should have this kind of a mechanism. There's a mechanism of check and balance. This is not a mechanism of infringement of power or letting not the democratic representatives do anything. It's not that. So national security is paramount. It doesn't matter what is the brand of politics of Umar Abdullah or for that Mamata Banerjee or for that anybody. So if you like it or you don't like it, nation is above everybody else. And whatever has to be done in the supreme national interest, I think Modi government should get cracking. And I think Modi ji promised that action within 100 days. I'm seeing initiation. I'm seeing the ground laid for that action to happen. Now, what is that action? I can't know. And what it can be, it would be always good. And as I told you, it will only have to happen after 26 June, not before that. So things seem to be going and inching towards that. That is my take on it. I've been able to give a 360-degree perspective about all the events which have happened in the last 24 to 48 hours and how does it impact or how will it mandate our action and our crackdown. याद रखिए, मोदी जी said, ecosystem का जवाब ecosystem की भाषा में दिया जाएगा. I want to reiterate this line in the end. So ecosystem has to be exactly handled the way ecosystem behaves. We have to also handle the ecosystem in the same way. Ji.
Thank you so much, Sumit ji. You've just crossed 1,000 viewers now. you know that there is some sort of a change in the algorithm that is affecting your notifications. One way to get around all these viewers is to click on WhatsApp channel of PGurus and just join that. I mean, it's a group. You can join that, and there you will get notifications of every program that is going to go live. In fact, we are going to. This is just laziness on my part. We publish what day of the week Sumit ji will be doing what, so that you have like a small timetable that we will publish. So you know your favorite guest Sumit ji is going to be doing these things, as are others. So we are going to do these things. Just give us a few days, and we'll make that. But the other thing, once you let's say you're not watching it live, then how do you join the WhatsApp channel? What we are going to do is we are going to pin a comment in all our videos where we are going to say, join this WhatsApp channel to get the latest updates. So basically what we are trying to do is make our own notification mechanism so that you will be able to know when the videos are going to be airing. I mean, it's up to you to whether you want to watch it then or later, but at least we can say that, yeah, thank you. The link for the WhatsApp channel is also going to be in the description. So inside the description, there will be one link. Also at the top of the comments, there will be that. So basically, we are going to try and help you to find all the content that is out there. Thank you once again, Sumit ji, and let's now take some questions.
Sure, sir.
Narayana wants to know, sir, what is happening in Puri is much more serious. Balbhadra fallen, no Shanti Yajna performed. They are opening Ratna Bhandar tomorrow. No puja done to Loknath Shivling. Red alert sure.
Well, I have heard about this. I'm not a subject matter expert on this, but I believe whatever the rituals say and whatever the precedence has been, that must be followed, because in today's video, I have tried to highlight a lot of red flags and a lot of fast-paced developments which are happening around us. And let's not kid ourselves. We don't have good neighbors. I will not say we have good neighbors. I will not say all of our neighbors are hostile, but I will not say we have these good, peaceful, brotherly neighbors. And unfortunately, this people are even taking the advantage. They're playing with both India and China. They go to China, get the money, get debt trapped by China, then come to India by bachao. We save them. After 1 or 2 years, they go again to China, get debt trapped, they again come to us. So they're playing this ping pong between us and China. So they know India has no option but to bail them out. A lot of things are happening. I mean, nobody likes the rise of India. Nobody is liking the rise of India. Whatever we might say about it.
Kesar wants to know, the step towards Jammu and Kashmir will be an eye-opener to West Bengal and Punjab. Will it be better than Article 356?
Prevention is always better than cure. Even after 356 Kesar ji, there will be another CM which will come. Now, I told you the biggest lesson of this election is Rashid Engineer. If evolution throws you in a Rashid Engineer, and imagine Rashid Engineers tomorrow, the Honorable Mukhyamantri of Jammu and Kashmir, statehood is restored. My God, you and me are going to die out of a heart failure. So, these things are possibilities now. Now, how to have checks and balances? We can't leave the national security to the dogs. Sorry. So, whatever Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Modi are thinking and have implemented is a very welcome step. All states mein karo, bhai. All bordering states mein karo. Right? And these some of the strategic places what Sree Sir was mentioning that day, they have to be now converted into union territories, which are very strategically important places like Bangalore, like New Delhi, and all these, wherein you are able to control the things. You can't let them go down. Our GDP or progress, a lot of things depend on that. There are a lot of people who live in the high-rise buildings. We don't know what jihadis and what terrorists are up to.
Venture Dent wants to know, sir, on a TV channel you had mentioned a few Bangladeshi guys staying in a 5-star hotel in Chennai. Any further information, please?
Well, I had mentioned about there are these Bangladeshi guys. There was a Bangladeshi kidney racket which was happening. And these Bangladeshi guys, there's one who's a kingpin. And he's seen with and he's again links with the Awami League. There's one more guy who is again there, some office bearer of Awami League, who's his kind of partner. Then he's seen with 2 MPs of Awami League, and one of them is a minister. I think last week, one of the MP was one of the MP of Awami League was in Delhi, and this guy was in him. And when I mentioned on the TV channel, I think they were yesterday or something, this guy was in Chennai, with the minister. So these all things which we are seeing, that's why I'm saying there's a lot of undercurrent. I'm not blaming the Bangladesh government, right? But there's an undercurrent. Imagine something like this happening in Bangladesh, and there's a BJP MP, a BJP minister, and a BJP national office bearer accused of this, and they are going to Dhaka and doing this. You see the amount of hue and cry it will be there in the Dhaka. So we have to raise this point. We have to talk about this. Now we have the evidence to prove that these people have been doing something, not so legal and not so ethical. And let me tell you another thing. I don't want to bring it, but lana padega. I have to bring it. When you look at the organ donations of the India, 99.9% organs are donated by Hindus, because Muslims don't believe in donating organs. When it comes to recipients, it seems to be around 30 to 40% of the recipients are Muslim. And now, to add to the problem, we have people from Bangladesh coming here, and we have people from other countries coming here. Why? What the hell is happening? We are doing we are an organ harvesting farm here. No. If I am donating my kidney, it is for a fellow Indian or a brother in need. Well, I'm not saying it can be Hindu or Muslim. That's a different question. But it should not be for a Bangladeshi or a Sri Lankan or somebody from Nigeria coming and getting it. And especially when the people from one community do not believe in donating organs, how they can be the highest number of recipients? This is a logical question which I'm asking. Next
one, please. Partha wants to know, I read news that India sees a large consignment of banned chemical used to make tear gas going from China to Pakistan. Why would Pakistan need 2 tons of this? Preparing for clashes with locals? No IMF dollars for this?
They are brewing something. That's why I told you this hazardous chemical. I didn't want to bring this tear gas angle. You brought it, so let me answer. Now everything is out and open. This is where the suspicion is. Why do they need this? I mentioned about this, but I didn't mention why it was used. But why are they needing this? So, meeting Chief Justice, consolidation of power, rearrest of Imran Khan, ISI can scoop into anybody's phone legal. Now, these things, what is Pakistan up to? What are Pakistan planning? Look, Pakistan will do anything what China asks them to do. And you have to give Munir a few $1 million, $200-300 million. He will just do a Ashtang Pranam to, and he will wag his tail wherever you want him to do it. So this is what is happening. And China, Sree Sir will talk in our tomorrow's episode. Now, China, we have been warning for ages now, or years, that the Chinese banks are failing. Now, it's out in the open. There are so many Twitter handles around. We are talking of 40 or Chinese banks failing. We'll cover that in tomorrow at 10 o'clock in our China and Give China series. We have been warning you a lot, folks, in advance what is happening in China. A lot of people have learned their lessons, some have not, but still there's still a lot to salvage. So, watch out, protect your interests, and hedge your bets. That is what I'm going to say. We're going to cover that more tomorrow. So, our idea is awareness. We can't take action. Me and Mr. Iyer can do the awareness part of it. Action is not our forte.
Partha wants to know, oh no, that's done. Arun Sharma wants to know, Sumitji, one way to damage the Indian economy is through manipulation of Indian stock markets. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, there is a way which it can be done. And even one day Sree Sir was talking about, how some ex-Congress guys have mastered this art and how they have made, I don't know how many millions or how many billions out of this. Today, my assessment of the stock market is next 45 days, 1 month or whatever, before the August end or September, you will see a major correction in the stock market. So play carefully. Usually, let's say you buy a share at 100, you put a lock at 90. If it falls below 90, the system will sell it. Have those checks and balances in place, because a correction is around the cards, because there's a lot happening in US. There's a Hezbollah war which is about to erupt. Pakistan, China are up to something. Chinese banks are failing. So there are a lot of things which are happening geopolitically. The impact of that can impact us substantially. That is the point I'm trying to make.
Next one, please. Neo wants to know, why Education Minister called Manusmriti controversial?
Well, my friend, I have no idea. You have to ask this to the respected Education Minister only. I think he's the best person to answer it. I can't find one reason in my wisdom why Manusmritis can be told as controversial. You may or may not agree to a part of it, but I say overall controversial. That is where the problem is.
Next one, please. Dr. S. Vijayalakshmi wants to know, in Jammu and Kashmir, Kashmiri women are helping the terrorists. They must be sanitized.
Ma'am, in Kathua attack, I think 29 locals have been picked up, and most of them have been hand in glove with the terrorists. I told you about this guy called 𝗤𝗖𝘆 who got paid 6,000 rupees and 9 lives were lost that day. So, this all cannot be done without the local support. I'm not saying all the locals are like that, but there might be a part of the community which is supporting this kind of ideology. I think if we are not politically correct, winning of Rashid Engineer from a jail talks a lot. It's a writing on the wall. Let's not be ostrich. There's a writing on the wall and we have to read it. Look, ma'am, if you're a doctor, if there's a problem and you find it, the 50% of cure starts then. If you're not finding the problem, or if you found the problem, not acknowledging it, it can never be cured. That's what it is.
Next one, please. NN wants to know, how will India be superpower when it's always defensive, that is not even able to exert pressure on Bangladesh to act on Hindu genocide, fearing it would tilt it towards China? Thoughts?
You see, we are in a very catch-22 situation, NNG, because Indian government and Indian diplomacy doesn't buy people. We don't throw money on people. We don't use corrupt practices. While China does everything and anything which is not written in the book. Anything, honey trapping, women, corruption, anything you can say. So we are up against an uphill task, but I think with time we have to evolve. I think with time we have to find our own ways. God created those unknown gunmen. God created them. And those unknown gunmen solved a part of the problem. So always there might not be traditional solutions to every problem. We might have to look for some out-of-the-box thinking. We might have to look for some out-of-the-box solutions in the supreme national interest. And, I have been always saying that. When there is nation, then you and me exist, then our livelihoods, then our lives, properties and businesses exist. A lot of people have this, notion, sir. Oh, I have this property worth 20 crores, 50 crores, I have this business, I have that business. If tomorrow there is no nation, this all will evaporate in days and weeks. What you have built for ages and generations. Look what happened in Kashmir. Everything evaporated in weeks. So it is very important to have a secure border and a powerful nation. Then your and my wealth and my fame and my fiefdoms and my luxuries will survive. If tomorrow the boundaries are porous, and the kind of enemies we have around us, if they are able to get their way through, nothing will survive. Learn from Kashmir. I always say that. Kashmir is a big topic to learn and get your lessons from.
Tarun Rao wants to know, I have a strong feeling that countries like USA and China are more concerned about the treasure in the temples like Puri, Jagganath, etc.
Well, for USA and China, you see, China is interested in the downfall of India. USA wants to contain India. USA doesn't want India to be over. They want to contain India. So there's a difference between them. So when you are looking at a country, sir, why should we only looking at a temple? Those treasures are very important, but they look at a country. The valuation of a country is much higher than a treasure in any of the temples. So Americans will look at India. The Chinese will look at, making India into a vassal state like Pakistan. But these gods are who are saving us, not their treasures. It's the blessings of these gods, which are more than any treasure, which are saving this country. You see, Jai Jagannath, if Orissa would have not done the magic, today there will be somebody else at the calling shots in New Delhi.
Next one, please. Thank you, Nitin Bharadwaj, for your donation. Manav San wants to know, Nixon colluded with China against India with Pakistan as midwife. How are we now seeing both China and US working harder against India, even while US and China having increased enmity with each other?
I think, you see, India, what it was at that time and India of today is a hell of a difference. India at that point was nobody except a big populous country. Today, India is a geopolitical player. It's an economic player. It's a player where world needs India. So Americans don't want to destroy India. They want to contain India. China's designs are to destroy India. Let's be very clear on that. So, we have to, it's not their enemies. It's not they are ganging up against India. There are issues. The relation in diplomacy is transitional, whether we like it or not. The interests are contradictory. The gains are, inversely proportional. But diplomacy is an art of, managing that. Look, can I be direct? No country can today ignore India. And we, as India cannot ignore United States of America. If somebody says, do not trust America, all Americans are like this is a typical leftist perverted mindset, which lives maybe in 50s. Can you wish away America? You want to be a number 3 economy in the world. Can you wish away America? You have to learn to manage America. You have to learn to manage Russia. You have to learn to manage China or contain China. I'm not even counting Pakistan. Pakistan is only a nuisance. So when you are growing up the stature, you cannot choose your competitors. The competitors are there. You cannot wish away United States of America. I can't say, "Arey, un pe bharosa mat karo," and then sleep. Can you have a growth and can you live in this multipolar world without having a relation of some kind of a trust or even a transitional relation with the United States? You can't. You have to play along. You have to be more proactive. I think today the job of external affairs minister is more tricky than a home minister. Look 15, 20 years back in time. Home minister was the most powerful portfolio. Today, I think it's the external affairs minister. That's how the paradigms change. Dharniji, ask Sumit ji, UAE deported Indian students for saying Palestine while Indian government should not take any action on MP was Free Palestine Parliament. Why? This is the point. This is exactly the point which I was trying to make. The new MP from J&K, he's saying from Kashmir, sorry, he's saying it's okay if OAC said Pakistan Zindabad. So we must take action. We must be seen taking action, and that is what it is. It's required, and UAE did the right thing for the people who are saying Free Palestine. Students go to universities, their business is to study, not to get into become politicians and political activism. You can choose that as a career, but when you are done with your studies, universities cannot be made addas of this activism and sloganeering. Unfortunately, today we have a very weak president in the United States of America, and things are not looking good. I hope and pray Trump wins, so we can hope to see something happening. And what happened in France was really, really disheartening. I didn't expect Macron's party to, go and have handshake with the ultra leftists and to come to power. This is very, very anti-France. Whatever you say about Mary Le Pen and all, she's not anti-France. But these leftists, what the agendas are, what is happening. When they were celebrating, there were more Palestinian flags than the French flags. This is also a reality what we saw. So even those political gains, people try to overlook the national gains and the long-term national gains. This should not happen. This should not happen.
Next one, please. Raghunand Kotike wants to know, is Modi charisma fading out? Are bipolar results reflection of this opinion? Anything considerable strategies by the BJP to improve in the ensuing elections?
You see, I have been very vocal on that, and I have been saying that 3 things BJP needs to do. Action against Pakistan, free temples, Waqf board, and something which is pro-Hindu and pro-middle class. Just these 2-3 things need to be done. You will see suddenly the things will change. Today, people are awaiting action. As we see, some action is being planned, some action looks to be brewing. So when the things come near to action, again the aura and all, it will be back or better than where it was. It's not a question of when your stars turn a bit, your life gets impacted. So it's a part of the process of being alive.
Manu wants to know, SP Army found out some terrorist hideouts inside the locals' homes, wardrobe. Just thinking, can we interrogate local masons and carpenters?
We should pick them up and try to find terrorists. It's not, that's why I'm telling you, I have been very vocal on one thing. People want to bloody kill me for saying treat overground worker as a terrorist. The laws have to be amended or whatever. If you see, terrorist is nothing without an overground worker, right? If there's no overground worker, there's no sympathizer, there's no ecosystem, what is a terrorist? They're nothing. So this, what we have seen inside a wardrobe, there was a hideout and all, that means terrorists were there. I know a lot of stories, Sree sir, when busting these hideouts, when the first firing happens, first exchange of fire, you lose a couple of men then and there. Because they will target 1 or 2 people and they know their hideout is going to be busted. I know there was a scenario, there was one hideout somewhere in an attic in Kashmir. It looked like a very, it had those mirrors and all. It looked like something all there and some plywoods and all. So the army had very concrete intel that at a Sree Iyer, They went once, twice, they could find nobody. It was again, they had put the complete camouflage and all. Then somebody got something suspicious. Something is there. Something is there. Third or fourth time they went again. Right? Then somebody looked like this. You can find something is hollow. Before he could take his finger out, there was an AK full burst on the person. We lost him then and then. AK is 80 rounds on a burst mode. We presume all the 80 will come out. So problem with busting these hideouts is there are casualties. And unless and until some punitive action is taken against that house and the people in the surroundings, nothing great is going to be achieved. There has to be a very high damage for doing this kind of activity. So there was a mason, there was a carpenter, and these all people have been lying. I'm telling you something which people don't talk about. These hideouts are tricky. They consume men. We lose men in exactly there. Our brave hearts don't die fighting terrorists. In a way, terrorists are not superior than Indian army. But when you're trying to do this, there's a burst of AK which comes to you, 80 rounds. We will lose one man immediately. This is how these hideouts are costing us. You have to burn down the house. You have to burn around those 5 surrounding houses around them and arrest all those people because they obviously knew something. It's not they won't know anything. They will know. And find that mason and find that carpenter and try him as a traitor.
Thank you, Jahangir Gotla. Perception is key. Government of India must take on India alliance with narratives and legal actions on all lies. Silence only supports lies. No sorries. Lies is equal to jail.
Government of India under Modi ji has to get into front foot because India alliance has seen some success and what happened in France is an India alliance model. If you decode France, kya hua, sir? It's exactly the India alliance model, na? So now these leftists and Islamists have seen an India alliance model as a good model. We are thank God Modi is still the Prime Minister. Otherwise, things could have been totally different. And now this model will be tried and implemented across the world. The only way to kind of get rid of this model is what Jahangir ji is saying. I concur with that thought. Of course, you have to look at all the parameters and what can be done, but relentless chasing them. If you let them go away with the lies and agenda and all, then you have no chance. Next time they will be more stronger. They will invent a new lie.
Thank you so much, Sumit ji, and let's take the Ashirwad of Mahadev. We'll be back again, viewers, in about an hour's time with 𝗤𝙂 Iyer ji on some of the more political developments. Thank you so much, sir. Let's go over to Sumit ji.
Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, we'll be meeting again on China. So please do join us. And we'll be talking about the Chinese banks going bust and what are the implications on the economy and all. On that note, like, share and subscribe our video, please. That is a request. Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Mataram, and Har 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 Mahadev.
𝗤𝙗